So we're gonna take a moment and read through this. Yeah, I'm actually reading through this so that I know what I can say and to make sure that there's nothing that I can't say. So, winky winky smiley face. Let's go take a look here. Travelers, we've heard from you. Sure have. Exciting news. Recall that we've had some plans for item gifting. Since that time, we've been engaged in an ongoing conversation with the community about trade. Many players expressed that they were excited by our decision to champion finding loot, and many players said that this stinks, and they wanted to trade more often. We made it clear in the past we wanted Last Epoch to be a place where you can come to slay monsters, find great gear upgrades, and it still will be. However, it is equally important for us that we remain a studio that listens and is grounded in our community. In short, we got you. Wait, stop it. Stop that. Item faction. So there's Merchants Guild and there's Circle of Fortune. And fortune favors the brave, baby. You know exactly where I fall on this. We are pleased to introduce to you an early peek at the feature design of our new item faction system in Last Epoch. So it's called item factions. Called factions, whatever. Two powerful factions. Merchants Guild for Circle of Fortune. Merchants Guild. You can buy and sell any kind of equipment. Trade directly or asynchronously. So you can walk up to somebody, you can trade with them, and you can also like trade asynchronously in the bazaar. What's the bazaar? Bazaar was a word that we heard a very long time ago, and people thought that it got abandoned. Turned out it didn't get abandoned. So I need to double check this document to see what they're telling you about the bazaar, because this is something that, to me, sounds very interesting. Circle of Fortune, on the other hand, this is like your SSF kind of option. It doesn't have to be SSF. You can still play multiplayer with Circle of Fortune. These are not solo versus trade league. Like in Path of Exile, there's solo league and there's trade league. This is not that. You can play Merchants Guild as a trade player. You can play Circle of Fortune as a trade player. You might be able to play Merchants Guild as a SSF player. As far as I know, that's still to be determined. I think they have plans for that. I don't know if those plans are written in here. Let's go find out. While the cat tries to bite me. Cat, please don't bite me. I'd be very disappointed. In any case, this is awesome. Along your travels in Last Epoch, encounter factions of Eterra's denizens. Choose to align yourself with them. Aligning with a faction allows you to gain reputation, to improve your rank within a faction, and favor to spend on that faction's services and rewards. So you're going to be one of these two. You can't... She just bit me. You can't not be one of these two. You have to be one of these two. Now, you can swap back and forth. Aligning with a faction gives you reputation. As you gain reputation, you can trade more stuff. You can trade legendaries, right? As a rank 1 merchant guild, you can't trade legendaries. But if you rank up enough with enough reputation, then you can trade legendaries. Circle of Fortune, you'll get a little bit of RNG. But if you rank up, you'll get even more RNG. And then you spend favor in order to interact with the guild, interact with the faction. So you could spend favor in order to get prophecies. You could spend favor in order to buy and sell. So I heard somebody say like, oh, it's interesting that there's no tax on this. Like, how do you keep prices in check if there's no tax? Favor is kind of like a tax. A little bit. All right. Merchants Guild and Circle of Fortune are the two factions that we'll introduce in Last Epoch, and your choice of allegiance will determine the way your character obtains and exchanges items in the endgame. Each character can only represent and gain reputation one at a time, because you can swap back and forth. If you are a multiplayer gamer and you're playing Circle of Fortune, you can swap over to Merchants Guild and trade. But the gear that you're equipping, all the gear that you have on that you found while you are a COF gamer, when you swap over to Merchants Guild, you can't wear your gear anymore. I'm gonna plant that idea in your mind, and if you have questions about what the hell that means, type them. How does it interact with stashes and alts? All the items that you find are going to be either orange or blue. I don't know if they're literally going to have the colors on them, but that'd be cool. All the items that you find are going to be like Merchant's Guild or CRF. How does it work with alts? You gain reputation account-wide based on league. So like for this 3-month league cycle, it's like account-bound progress of reputation. Charmander or Squirtle, I never thought too hard about it. I did Charmander more often than I did Squirtle. I have no idea whether that's the right choice, but Charmander's cute. Characters can swap between factions at any time. Equipping items found while in the COF will require ranks in that faction, and equipping items purchased through trade while in the Merchants Guild will require ranks in that faction. So just swapping back and forth, you can't just like put on random gear. You have to like level up in order to wear the gear that you've traded for or dropped randomly. Items dropped by MG are not flagged until traded. Okay, good. Let's keep going. Switching between them is more akin to respecing your character rather than something that you'll want to do routinely. So maybe you do it a couple times. I wonder how clunky it is to switch like once a day. What if I want to switch twice a day? I wonder how clunky that is. We'll see. I guess I don't really want to respec my character twice a day. Respec my character twice a day sounds a real pain. So I guess we'll see. Details. You could have different characters in the same cycle in different factions. Cycle is like a 3-month season. Faction reputation is account-wide. Good. Faction reputation resets each cycle, each 3 months, whatever. Good. When a cycle ends and characters are transferred in the permanent non-cycle environment, standard, the faction progress will be carried over to that environment. Cool. Factions, hit me. So these are work in progress reputation rewards here. If you're rank 2 COF, what do they have? 45% chance for a Rune of Ascendance to be preserved when using an item that requires at least COF 1. Okay. Affixes, 50% more likely to be exalted. Awesome. Uniques are twice as likely to have legendary potential. Awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. God, this sounds like so much. I feel like I'm going to spend so much gold as a solo COF gamer, like, on stash tabs. I mean, we're going to have so many stash tabs. COF is a mystical faction that has banded together to seek fortune through arcane research and astrology. Aligning with the Circle of Fortune will grant you powerful benefits toward finding more and better items. You also have the ability to purchase prophecies with favor, which will bend fate to your advantage and help you find the specific items that you're looking for. The one thing that I'm curious about at this point, the prophecy, get out of here. The prophecy system in Path of Exile was garbage. A lot of people didn't like them, and they weren't great, and it's not a perfect implementation. There's a lot of problems with them. There were like a couple things that even I liked, but like there were a lot of problems with the prophecy system. So using the word prophecy here is going to draw a lot of parallels. I have no idea what they're going to look like. Technically, I might have an idea of what a prophecy might look like. But for the purpose of talking right now, I have no idea what the prophecies look like. Let me read Twitch chat real quick. Does this mean that I get to rank 6 on COF and I swap to MG and get it rank 6 and swap back? You'll be rank 6 COF? If you're rank 6 COF, you swap to MG, you get rank 6 on MG and swap back. Yes, Ace, that's what it means. Once you get rank 6, you're not losing your rank 6. Bum 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 bum. 5 to 1, but what is the 1? All right, let's see what Merchant's Guild is. So, Merchant's Guild, you don't get bonus RNG. You don't get items that drop with LP more often. You don't get sweet prophecies, but you do get to trade. So rank 2, you can trade set items. Rank 4, you can trade unique items with no LP. Rank 6, you can trade exalted weapons and unlock 10 additional bazaar item slots. So this should kind of tease to you what the bazaar is going to be. This next section that we're about to get to might also tease what the bazaar is about to be. So you're going to have item slots in the bazaar. You can put items in there. It's not one big dump tab, like an enormous quad tab from Path of Exile. We just like dump everything and like list it all for sale. It's not that. So presumably there won't be a whole bunch of garbage to sort through. Presumably they'll just be like a couple hand-picked items that people choose to put up for sale. All right. Merchant Guild is it's a prosperous organization that believes in prosperity through commerce. Aligning with the Merchants... That kind of hurts my voice. Aligning with the Merchant Guild will allow you to trade increasingly powerful items as you gain reputation and give you access to the bazaar, where you can browse and search for items that other players have listed and list items on the bazaar yourself. All types of equipment, including idols and uniques and LP items, can be traded with other players if you have enough rank. But crafting items, like a Rune of Ascendance and a Glyph of Despair, cannot be traded. Cannot do that. Are you able to give hot takes? If you got a hot take, let me hear it, dude. Let's keep scrolling. So the bazaar, I have one word in my head that I've been told about what EHG is kind of like envisioning for the bazaar. Let me see if they use that word here. The bazaar will be a new trade-focused zone for players aligned with the Merchants Guild. Here you can gather, socialize, barter, and trade your wares throughout the market. Players will search through a variety of stalls for player-listed items. You can buy and sell for gold with advanced searching functionality, no purchase delay, so you can do it asynchronously, and no gold tax on the item. So no tax on the gold tax. Remember, you're spending favor in order to do these things, but yeah, cool. The word that I've heard, used to describe what EHG thinks the bazaar is going to be, they use the word bustling. They think that the bazaar is going to be a bustling zone with a whole bunch of people running around, trading stuff. If it is, that sounds adorable and also very cool. I don't know how bustling it's gonna be, but we'll see. Sounds like trade chat. It sounds like like proximity based trade chat. It's like, yeah, I don't know about that, but that's what they're kind of thinking about. So we'll see. Item gifting with friends. There is a super important update here. So before we scroll on, item gifting right here, right? The cat's about to bite me again. The one thing that I knew about item gifting with friends during the past couple weekends where multiplayer has been made available to me, I had this idea in my head. We're like, okay, I'm Perry, and I got my made up brother John, and I play with John. We play during the day, whatever, or I guess we play at night. And the next day, my brother John has to go to work. And I'm gonna keep playing, but he's going to work. So like we play together like 90% of the time. We play together all weekend. We're totally no-lifing it. And then on Monday morning, he's got to go to work, right? And I keep playing, and I drop a sweet item that'd be perfect for my brother John's build. And it's like, what the fuck? I can't trade with him? I can't trade with him? Are you kidding me? So that has been addressed, which is very cool. Let's read. We've heard from the community that sharing items with friends is important to the enjoyment of Last Epoch long term. We agree, and so we are continuing to support item gifting between friends and party play regardless of your faction choice. So you're all playing in multiplayer together, one person's Merchant Guild, one person's COF, you can still item gift. To this end, we are doing two things. Item gifting, number one. Item gifting as experienced in multiplayer tests will remain. If you are with a player fighting enemies and an item drops, you can trade it. There will be another thing called resonances. A resonance drops when you've played alongside a player for a very extended period of time. Using a resonance on an item will enable it to be gifted to that player, even if they were not present when the item dropped. my understanding is that you can trade the item back and forth as well. So I spend all weekend totally no-lifing along with Darwin Swagger from chat. And then on Monday morning, Darwin Swagger goes to work and I go, okay, so Sunday I drop a resonance, right? So I've got a resonance in my inventory. And then on Monday, Darwin goes to work. I keep gaming and I find a sweet item that Darwin could use in their build. I could use my resonance on the item. When Darwin comes home from work, I can trade the item with him, even though they weren't there when the item dropped. Cool. What's this? Thank you for all the passion. We've been listening carefully, collecting feedback, creating a solution that champions the diverse nature of our players. We are building Last Epoch for all of you, with you, blah, 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 blah. We're very excited about introducing item factions, and we invite you all to continue the conversation with us. It's worth noting that these systems will not be included on March 9th, when the 0.9 patch comes out, but we'll be aiming to get them into subsequent patches later this year. Resonances may be added sooner than factions on account of them being such a good idea that we can't possibly imagine not including them as soon as possible. Do we know if resonances are consumable? If you take a look at this, right? Use on an exalted or unique item to enable it to be gifted. So if I'm playing with Astria, I drop a resonance and it says you can use this on an item, and then you can And then later, if I'm playing solo, I'm like, oh shit, Ace would love this item. I can do that, and I can trade it with you later. I think it's a really good system. It kind of addresses bots as well. Like, no system is perfect against bots. You got to understand that, right? There will be bots. There is no system that's perfect against bots. But having a resonance being gated behind playing alongside somebody for a very extended period of time, I think that's a really good choice. So if you're a merchant, can you sell COF gear on the bazaar? Can you sell COF gear? No, you cannot sell COF gear. Isn't there a FAQ? Boom. How do you balance it? We just cross our fingers. You think it solves the guild trading thing? Yeah. So guild trading or like small group SSF should be, hopefully, addressed by, one, if you're playing in a small guild and you and your buddies all want to trade together, you're probably playing Merchants Guild, right? Two, resonances help to patch up some of the circumstances otherwise. Other merchant characters could buy it and transfer it to their COF. No, I don't think you can sell COF. Will resonances let me gift non-crafting material COF items to MG? Yes, but they can't use it. Let's see. Discord sales stuff. I don't think a Discord sales stuff is going to be a popular approach to this. You can't trade COF, but you can gift it. Yeah, you can gift COF. You can even gift COF to somebody who's a merchant. If I'm COF and Kelvara is a merchant guild, I can trade a COF item to Kelvara. Kelvara cannot use that item until she swaps over from merchant guild into COF and gains enough ranks to be able to use it. Yeah. Horde versus Alliance level tribalism incoming? As a meme, absolutely. But in practical terms, I don't think so. Because, like, you can still trade and play and benefit. Is it group trade only for dropped items? I don't know what kind of items exist except for dropped items. I don't follow. I don't get the question. Let's read a couple of these. How do you balance it? Can you play with people? I'm Merchant Guild and I'm playing with a friend in COF. Can we gift items back and forth? Yes. Items found from monster drops or representing MG can be freely gifted and used like normal and do not have a faction requirement. Items found while you are COF that they gift to you would require you to switch to COF and rank up. Because, so here's the thing, right? When you're COF, you have a rarity bonus. And items could drop with exalted modifiers more often. So like every item that drops has that like more often applied to it. So like everything's going to have the COF flag. But like Merchant's Guild, nothing's going to have a flag because there's no extra modifiers being applied to it. Can you trade in the bazaar and then trade your group? You can trade in the bazaar and then gift in your group. Yeah, you can gift in your group. You can trade then gift. You can gift then trade. Rarity bonus and LP bonus. Yes. Woo, man. Chat, if you like trading, good for you. I am going to be a fortune favors the brave. I am very excited. Bad World, welcome. Are there restrictions on which type of items can be traded? No. Initially, you can trade normal magic rare. As you advance, you can do legendary stuff and idols, and trading idols seems awesome. That seems really good. How do I interact with the trade economy face to face? How long? Oh, yeah, this is good. How long does it take to fully rank up? Achieving max rank will likely happen after you reach level 100. If you rank up in one faction with one character. So if you're going to play one character the whole time and never swap back and forth, you'll be like level 101 or level 102 by the time you hit max rank. That's cool. I like this a lot. Faction progress is shared across characters. Nice. I don't know if they say this, but as far as I know, ranking up is roughly the same as gaining experience. I think it might actually be like getting experience. Carve, is it literally collecting experience? Like if I get like an experience book, does that like give me extra levels? You gain rank from adventuring? I don't know exactly how it works. I know it's like roughly on par with it, but I don't know exactly how it works. Let's keep going. When can I start earning ranks? Factions are initially available toward the end of the campaign. God, what if they're chapter 9, chat? Does that mean I have to do chapter 9? Yikes. However, once you've already joined a faction, you're good to go. If I'm COF and I decide to switch to MG, I can't use any of my gear. You will need to acquire a new set of gear to use. Yes. Which is kind of awkward. The most straightforward way to do this is by crafting on items that you gamble or that you buy from the vendor after switching. Nevertheless, it will be a road bump, and typically switching factions will be more like a significant respect to your character rather than something that you want to do routinely. So like if you're level 60 and you swap from one to the other, like yeah, it's like a small road bump. But if you're like level 90, level 95, level 100, and then you swap, it's going to be a little bit awkward, right? Especially because like when you talk about gambling, you're only gambling items that are level 40 requirement. So you can't gamble the highest tier bases that you want. So it's going to be bumpy if you want to go it like this. The second bullet point's important here. It says you can also preempt switching your primary character by leveling up a second character and getting started building up an inventory of MG if you're COF and COF if you're already MG. You can build up that inventory of stuff, and then once you swap, you have like a pool of gear that you can just like pick and choose from if you need to. Since items are giftable when found together, you can also get a jump start from someone in the other faction if you want to. Makes sense to me. What if I want to play both factions and switch all the time? You can do this. There is no intended efficiency gain to be had by frequently switching, which means we should definitely determine whether there is an efficiency gain by frequently switching. There are plenty of people out there who will be absolute degenerates if it benefits them in any way. Hopefully it does not benefit them in any way. Is this the only faction system? So are we only ever going to have 2? Additional factions are unlikely to relate so directly to mass item acquisition and are also unlikely to be mutually exclusive with COF or MG. So you might, in the future, maybe, be able to join them and gain ranks with them even though you're already aligned to COF or MG. It's like more axes. Oh. Items bought through the bazaar cannot be resold. Love this. Can I trade crafted items? Can you trade crafted items, and also can you craft untraded items? Crafting an item does not change whether it's tradable. You can trade before, you can trade after, you can craft before, you can craft after. Good. Foe is already trying to figure it out? Absolutely. He was trying to figure this out weeks ago. Don't worry. Whoop, get out of here. What is the trading currency? Gold. The trading currency is not Glyph of Despair. If you made the trading currency into a Glyph of Despair, that would mean that people are disincentivized to use Glyphs of Despair. And then you get Exalted Orbs from Path of Exile, or Divines from Path of Exile, where people don't want to use them, and they just use them as currency instead. So gold. What about faith? No, gold. You can see that the devs are very adamant about this. Go. Just gold. Stop it. Stop asking. Gold. Can I drop trade? No. Dropped items are instanced. Got it. Drop trade means like put items on the ground and hope they don't scam each other. How is the bazaar going to work? Will it be easy to find upgrades? Each base type has a stall associated, so helmets, wands, idols, whatever. Once you find the right stall, all items in the category are available from that one place. What does that mean? So I guess like there's just one hat stall. Gotcha. You can input very specific search and sort parameters to find exactly what you're looking for. Delivery is immediate, so it's asynchronous, right? You don't need confirmation from the other person. I've heard that it should be better, the same, if not better, than a loot filter. Which is pretty good, because the loot filters are pretty strong. Are solo characters COF? Oh, I love this question. They play like normal characters, will join a faction. However, they won't be able to buy items from other players, so joining MG would have little benefit, and we may okay, this is good. I had questions about this previously. Would they allow an SSF solo gamer to join MG? There was a little bit of conversation about how this might work. The fact that they might disallow it altogether, I think is a good choice. I think this is the most straightforward approach. I kind of hope that this is what they do. So, we'll see. Does direct trading cost favor? Yes, even if you're person to person. Is there any way to sell items with the COF requirement as an MG player? COF items cannot be sold. COF items can be traded. Yes, they cannot be sold. Will gifted items be able to get re-gifted? Yes, especially with like resonance and stuff. Did I say gifted? I meant to say gifted. Either they should be able to trade. Either they should be able to trade, or they should disallow it. Well, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I guess we can. There was an idea to allow solo SSF gamers who click Merchants Guild to do like trading at a bazaar, but it would all be like populated by NPC stuff. So there wouldn't be items that are connected to another human being. They're just like randomly generated stuff. And like, yeah, I guess I get it. But I think this is a lot simpler to just disallow it altogether. So I'm still in favor of disallowing. COF items cannot be traded. They can be gifted. Yeah, there you go, Carve. I need to use like really specific language because like those are different things. Gifted items can be re-gifted. They cannot be traded. Got it. I don't see a problem with SSF trading, MG, personally. Advantage to party plays and trade, it's gifting, power leveling, group play. You don't see a problem with SSF trading with MG. I mean, that's good feedback. Not very self-found. Well, are they going to call it self-found? Are they going to call it solo? Yeah, it's not called self-found currently. But that's good feedback. That's relevant feedback that you could just share with the devs too. Remember, this is not set in stone, Chen. Can an item be gifted or traded? Can an item be gifted or traded after being gifted with resonance? It can still be gifted to the original owner. So like if I have resonance with Calvara in chat, like we have one item that we used resonance on, we can trade it back and forth. It can still be gifted or to other players that it could have been gifted to before. However, like other gifted items, it cannot be traded, cannot be sold. It's weird. Pardon my voice, by the way. It's weird that gift and trade are different and trade and sold are the same. I don't know. I will mess up the terminology. Please correct me. How much longer? Oh, we're almost done. God bless. My poor voice. I need some tea. What determines the faction rank that an item requires to use? MG rank required to equip an item that is normally equal to the rank requirement to buy or sell an item. So rank 1 is this, rank 2 is set, rank 3 would be like legendary items, whatever, right? Or like uniques, like rank 4 is legendaries. Legendary items, uniques with a legendary potential, exception to this. As the only require the rank required to buy and sell a regular unique of that type. I think I follow. I'm not too worried about my understanding of this because I'm probably not going to do it, but like for informational purposes, I should understand this, right? Legendary items and uniques, legendary potential are an exception. As they only require the rank required. They only require the rank required to buy a required requirement. To buy or sell a regular unique of that type. So, I think it sounds like LP and being a legendary item are not really factored in this. Easy to get LP uniques, hard to get already made legendaries. Is it? No, I think it's not the opposite, but I think they're both easy to get, right? They only require the rank required to buy or sell a regular unique of that type. Yeah. What Mugboy said. LP system does not seem to have an impact. I'm reading it the same way that you are. The COF rank required to equip an item normally 1 less than the COF rank you were when the item dropped, but it's always between 1 and 5. Sure, you got it. Chad, if you're playing trade, just keep scratching your head and try to figure it out. Your boy is playing COF. How will the addition of these items affect the balance of the game as a whole? What an excellent question. These factions add a powerful source of items, regardless of which faction you pick, and so, without further changes, they would lead to a dramatic increase in player power, and the game becoming a whole lot easier. To counteract this, we will increase the power of monsters and adjust item drop rates and rewards at relevant levels. Good. It could use a bit of trimming right now. However, once you have a few ranks in COF, you will have a comparable quantity and quality of items as the current game, that's live right now, so that sense of generous item drops will remain intact, and the rest of the ranks will exist on top of that as a deterministic grind toward further improving the loot you find. Meanwhile, if you're in Merchant's Guild, you will find fewer items than you would in the current endgame, but you'll be able to trade for the specific items that you want, enabling you to acquire those much more smoothly and also deterministically. Selling many of the great items that you find will also act as a great powerful source of gold, enabling you to either buy more equipment from the players or to acquire more items by using it in the Vault of Uncertain Fate, which is, of course, the dungeon, the Lightless Arbor. Can we call them the fortunate and the merchants? You should call them the brave. Any brave people out there? I'm gonna change my name to Barry the Brave. Even legendary items can be traded with other players to get a high enough rank, and as you advance in the guild, you'll be able to trade set unique items. Unique resulted even. I'm not reading it that way. So I see what you're writing. And if those sentences were structured in a extraordinarily specific way, then I would agree. But this here seems like an important line of text. I see what you're typing, but I think we're ignoring this. But this is a good question. How would you phrase this question to a developer? You'd have to ask, hey, Mr. Developer, are legendary items or uniques that have LP on them, is one of them harder to trade than the other one? Are uniques and legendaries and LP uniques all easy to trade in the same way, or is one of them more difficult to trade? I don't have the answer right now, but if somebody in the future has the answer, let me know. I'm apparently very interested. So that wraps it up for now. Trade loot filter. Yup. Trade loot filter. Remember, when you're searching in the bazaar for items to trade, it's gonna be like making another kind of trade loot filter. Because that's how you're gonna search for items too. So, like I said at the very beginning of this, maybe even before I click the record button, I think this is an excellent system. If EHG can pull this off, if they can make this run smoothly, I think this will be the kind of thing that 10 years from now, you're still seeing games copy. Like, we've seen games copy Diablo 2 for the past 20 years. I think this system is excellent. I've got a really high opinion of how this is going to work. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, well, fuck. I guess we'll play Diablo. But I got high hopes. Cool. All right, that's it.